What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys an NFL Week 4 episode of my DFS podcast, talking about the main slate on Sunday. As I always do, I will be giving you guys a pretty big Guru credit code again here as a giveaway. Just give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. We have 13 games on the main slate for Sunday. We have 8 games in the early window, 4 games in the afternoon window, and then as we've seen FanDuel do so far this year, they're putting the Sunday Night Football game as part of the main slate. A really good game between the Bills and the Ravens. We have some guys up in the air right now with missing practice and injuries, but I have a pretty good idea on who we can expect to power through their missed practices and guys that we kind of already know who are going to be out for Sunday. I'm going to give you guys a value play using FanDuel salaries, one for each position as I always do, and hopefully we can have a great Week 4. It looks like we have another 2-game Monday slate. On Monday Night Football, we have the Titans at the Dolphins, which is kind of a stinker, unfortunately. But we also have the Seahawks at the Lions, which is a much better looking game on paper. The games for Sunday, though, they don't look too bad. We do have one blowout risk, really. Maybe a couple, actually. The Jets are minus 7.5 at home against the Broncos. The 49ers are 10-point favorites against the Pats. They're at home, so that makes sense. And then the Chiefs on the road, 7-point favorites against the Chargers. All the over-unders basically range, nothing out of the ordinary from 40 to 48. I don't see any over-unders in the 50s. The highest over-under I see is a 49.5 between the Commanders and Cardinals. That looks like the best DFS game for Sunday. We will be diving into that game for some of the plays. But again, give this video a like. Let's dive right into the plays. I'll give you that Guru credit code after the first couple of my plays. Quarterback, we have our usual suspects for, high-priced guys. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson head-to-head on Sunday Night Football. They're pretty expensive. That game should be back and forth, though. You could look either one in either one's way. I don't know if I love it for the price. Kyler Murray could go off. 8,700 is expensive. Jalen Hurts has a good matchup against the Bucs. Don't mind him. He is, I'm expecting him to have a big game sooner than later, although Saquon Barkley does seem to take away some of his stuff. Mahomes could have a huge game against the Chargers. Pretty good price on him. I like Jaden Daniels at 8,200. For $300 more, you could certainly argue Mahomes is right in that category for best spend up at quarterback, but I love Jaden Daniels. I loved him at LSU, and I've been a huge fan of him since he's come into the league. His performance on Monday Night Football was unbelievable against the Bengals. He threw a couple of absolute beauties to Terry McLaurin down the field. One of them wasn't a touchdown, but it was like right to the 5-yard line. And then his second one late in the game to seal it in the corner of the end zone was an impressive throw. Although he's not, he's not exactly a field general for a quarterback who's going to sit in the pocket and throw 30 times in a game. He didn't even do that in college, so it was really weird to see those long balls work against the Bengals. 21 for 23, insane. We can't expect that kind of performance again. I do expect him to get really active on the ground, though. We all know he's going to rush. He's going to have double-digit rush attempts. Basically, I'm guessing almost every game. He's 3 for 3 so far this season. He's done a ton of work on the ground. He has 170 rushing yards already, give or take, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Love this matchup against the Cardinals. It is a 3.5 point spread. The Cardinals at home are favored Again, like I was saying earlier, 49.5 point over-under is the highest on the slate. I do like Daniels here. His price is getting up there. Again, Mahomes for $300 more is not too shabby. And you could even look towards a sub 8K CJ Stroud, who had a really poor performance against the Vikings. I still like CJ Stroud here at 7,800. We all know how good this guy is. One of the better rookie seasons we've seen in a while. Last year, he could easily come out and tell us, nothing's changed since last year against the Jaguars. I really like this spot for him. 6-point favorites, 45.5 over-under, one of the highest over-unders on the slate. CJ Stroud is definitely in the mix now that he's below 8K. Because he's had a few pretty average performances at best to start the year. For running back, let's look at a sub 7K Zach Moss. I love Moss in this spot against Carolina. The Bengals should be up in this game. They are, let's see how many points they're giving. 4.5 points. Moss is the number one. They do have, I think he was a rookie last year, so he's a sophomore this year. Can't find this game. I'm having trouble. Forget his name. Chase Brown, who gets some work. He has 14 total carries, so not a ton. We all know Zach Moss is still the number one guy here. He'll get double-digit rushes. I would guess anywhere from 12 to 16 rushes. Good chance to score. Gets involved in the passing game as well. 5 catches on 6 targets against the Commanders. 6,900, his price did go up a little bit. I do think he should be over 7K. We saw him have plenty of big games as a Bill coming into the league, and then his next team as a Colt. He had some huge games while he filled in for the injured Jonathan Taylor. I think that was last year. So we know what Zach Moss is capable of doing, and I do think 6,900 is a good salary on him with the matchup he has against one of the worst teams, one of the worst defenses in the NFL. We all know the Panthers are the worst team through the first 3 weeks. So Zach Moss looks good. I do think he is a great play at 6,900. For my Guru credit code, go to my website, fd-guru.com. You have to be signed in for the credit code to work so you can get the coins in your balance. You can sign up. It takes literally 30 seconds to confirm an email address. No credit card required. These Guru credits are used to buy all of my DFS content. MLB playoffs are coming. NFL, plenty of stuff. Single games, main slate, 1 p.m. only, 4 p.m. only. You can see all the options when you go to the NFL page. And then we have NBA DFS right around the corner. That seems to be the hottest topic in sport on my website. Because it is very difficult to plan for NBA DFS with all the injuries. A lot of people don't have the time to do it, and a lot of people don't know what they're doing. So NBA seems to be the biggest attraction on my website. So excited for that season to get going in under a month. We'll have plenty of stuff going as October is the busiest DFS month of the year with NFL, MLB playoffs, and NBA getting rolling. Excited for it. Plenty of stuff to use coins on. Go to the shop page. You'll see this barcode. This is where you buy all your credits. It's going to be week 4 NFL 24. Week 4 NFL 24, all caps. Hit apply coupon, and it will say coupon successfully applied. I must have put in the wrong coupon. That's weird. After this video, I will go back into the system and fix it. But it will work. Week 4 NFL 24, and you will get 20 free Guru credits into your balance when you put in this code. Just give this video a like, subscribe, put my alerts on so you don't miss any future videos and giveaways. Again, I always appreciate the support. Wide receiver, we have a whole lot of things going on the injury report. We know Cooper Kupp's out, A.J. Brown probably out. Jamar Chase should be fine. Mike Evans should be fine. Marvin Harrison should be fine. Deebo Samuel, doubtful. Devontae Smith, I think, is a true questionable tag. He got hurt last game with a concussion, kind of a cheap hit. That could be huge. If A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both out, that'll open up some things for the Eagles in a great matchup against the Buccaneers. We'll have to wait and see. Godwin should be fine. I'm going to go for a value play in the Panthers. Deontay Johnson looked fantastic in week 3 against the Raiders. 14 targets, 8 receptions. He was very, very slow out of the gates with 5 total catches through the first 2 weeks for 34 yards, and then he breaks out against the Raiders. I'm not worried about this Bengals defense whatsoever. They looked atrocious against the Commanders. Jaden Daniels was getting anything he wanted, whether it was running or throwing downfield. Bengals defense is a serious problem. I think this new look Panthers offense with Andy Dalton at the helm is something to monitor, because Dalton went off last week against the Raiders. The Raiders aren't that great, so we never know. But we're going to find out soon, whether it's this week, next week, a couple weeks later, if it's a Bryce Young problem or not. Through one game, it looks like a Bryce Young problem. We'll have to see. But Deontay Johnson is the best, barring any injuries happening from here until Sunday. Deontay Johnson right now is the best value play at only 6,200. Adam Thielen is on the IR. He hurt his hamstring yet again. This guy just can't stay healthy. Had a great touchdown catch and then couldn't even celebrate because he was down holding his leg in the end zone. Great catch, got his team 6 points, but it was a negative play more than a positive play. Regardless, Deontay Johnson, number 1 guy on the Panthers with Andy Dalton thrown to him. One guy to keep in mind, he should be the number 2. $4,800 Jonathan Mingo. If you are a big tournament guy and you like to take risks, I don't see Mingo being very high owned. Not saying he's going to score 3 touchdowns, but it kind of falls into the same basket as Juwan Jennings last week with Deebo Samuel out. Everyone picked Brandon Ayuk. I think a lot of people are going to pick Deontay Johnson as the number 1. And then we saw Juwan Jennings as the number 2 that people weren't really on go off. It's not really the same. Juwan Jennings is way better than Jonathan Mingo, but it's a comparable scenario. $4,800, just throwing it out there if you want to save some money. I might toss him in a GPP lineup because you never know. Because he looks like him and then the rookie Xavier Legette are going to be the next 2 guys behind Deontay Johnson, so you never know. But for this video, Deontay Johnson is the clear-cut best value play at wide receiver. Tight end's been a terrible position all year. Dallas Goedert went off. He is now way too expensive at $7,500. Travis Kelce, I'll talk about in a second. My guy who dropped in price after a week 3 touchdown, Dalton Kincaid, $6,100. I like him against the Ravens. This should be a shootout on Sunday Night Football. I don't know why FanDuel is including the Sunday Night Football game this year. It's annoying. I say it every video, but we'll have to deal with it. DraftKings does not include it, so we won't be able to target the Bills and Ravens over on the DraftKings main slate. But for FanDuel, Kincaid at $6,100 looks great. I think they get him more and more involved. We all know how good he is. He had a great year last year. Should be a competitive game. I think Josh Allen's going to rely on his tight end a little bit more. Last week, his first half usage was huge. 5 targets. He got a touchdown. We all know they ended up blowing out the Jaguars by like 20 to 30 points or whatever it was. These Bills starters really only played one half of football in terms of DFS. Kincaid, you can basically double his numbers. If this game was close, you probably would have saw like 6 catches for 10 targets for 80 yards, maybe another touchdown. This was really through just one half of football, and he was seeing some great usage after 2 bad weeks. So I like Kincaid. His price weirdly dropped after a good week 3 game, so $6,100 looks really good on Kincaid. Barring any injuries again, we'll have to see. McBride might be out. We could look at a Commanders tight end. Who knows with these questionable tags? We'll have to wait and see. But another guy we could look at for $1,000 more, I do think Travis Kelce is worth a look, especially if you pick Patrick Mahomes. Kelce, 3 terrible games to start the year, but what a great get me back game against a terrible passing defense in the Chargers. I had mentioned Mahomes earlier as a good quarterback play. If you pick Mahomes, it'd be smart to pick Travis Kelce. Obviously, bad start to the year, but we can't just think that Travis Kelce is going to just fall off the face of the earth with no warning, right? I mean, he's got to have a great game sooner or later. I was watching Good Morning Football on NFL Network a couple days ago. They were throwing out Travis Kelce numbers against the Chargers, and they are insane. Don't quote me on it, but he has like 120 yards per game average against the Chargers through 6 games, and he has 7 touchdowns in 6 games against the Chargers. He absolutely decimates the Chargers. So this is a great get-me-back spot. Good price on him at $7,100. I think people are going to be hesitant to pick him after 3 bad games, but it's Travis Kelce. We all know what he's capable of doing. I'm not saying he's a lock, but the matchup couldn't be any better. We know he's going to be itching to have a big game. So Kelce, I will be getting some sort of exposure to Travis Kelce this week. I think a big game is coming for him, and the price is right. Defense, we can get cheap here, depending on if you want to spend up on defense. If you have the money, I think the expensive defenses make a lot of sense. Maybe not the Browns, but the 49ers at home and the Jets at home definitely makes sense if you have that money. But for value, I like the Raiders, $3,700. This Browns offense has looked terrible. Deshaun Watson doesn't look good. Has one of the lowest over-unders on the slate at 37. We see the Raiders at home. They did just get destroyed by an Andy Dalton-led Panthers offense, but we're saving a lot of money here. We're going with a low over-under, so, I don't mind it. It's the lowest over-under on the main slate. So if you want to save money, I do not mind the Raiders. All these other cheap defenses are in pretty bad spots. I hate all of these cheap defenses. The cheapest I would go, that makes the most sense, is the Raiders against the Browns. That'll do it for this video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Let's have a huge week 4 as we really start to ramp up DFS season. Give this video a like. Enjoy that Guru credit code. And until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.